What's going on, Jerome's? Every national media jabroni haircut has already done their NFL predictions. Lions going to win the division. Bears going to be number 2. All that stuff. But, again, much like the most accurate power rankings in the known universe, these are the most accurate NFL record predictions in the known universe. And if you disagree with any single one of the numbers, you are wrong. How does it feel? Now, we're going to predict ties, but we decided to keep it simple. And also, we did the extra 10 seconds of work to make sure that the games totaled 272. Some people don't do that. Everyone's going 10-7, all that stuff. So we're going to dive on in. First up, in the AFC, starting in the AFC East, Buffalo Bills, once you come out tonight, winning the division at 12-5. I don't know what it is. That defense does need some help. Josh Allen needed some offensive line help. I do think that the addition of the tight end will be a lot of fun. Him being paired up with Dawson Knox will be great. Stephon Diggs is still one of the best receivers in the game. Gabe Davis, who did not catch it, no big deal, no problem. And also, can James Cook really step up in year 2? Remains to be seen. Also he gets to play his brother Dalvin, who's on the Jets. All right, so Dolphins 10-7. I respect what Mike McDaniel has done, and also the Dolphins are studly all over the place, man. I think that this is going to be a rough and tumble division. I think that they're going to, the 4 teams are essentially going to beat up on each other quite a bit. And the Jets, I understand that everyone right now thinks that the Jets are the cat's ass. Jets' schedule is extremely tough. Plus, I feel like there's good vibes right now, right? Everyone's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is here and all that stuff and all those things, but there's a lot of egos in that room, and whether it's Sauce Gardner, whether it's Garrett Wilson, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's Salah, whether it's Nathaniel frickin' Hackett, whether it's Dalvin Cook, the second something goes wrong, I don't know if they're going to have the intestinal fortitude to come back from it, and I think that this could go wrong quickly. Given their schedule, and I think that this has a chance to really snowball in a negative way with the Jets. So I think that even though our guy Rob Saleh has a great defense, I don't see Rodgers just straight up transforming this offense. I don't see Dalvin Cook changing the running game. And I think that this team ends up rather listless and ends up at 8-9. Patriots going to have a rough go of it. I don't think that Mac Jones is the answer, even with Bill O'Brien in the building. So they round out the division. AFC North. You got the Bengals at 10-7. Now they're going to be missing Joey B for a handful of games, but they still have the best receiver trio in the National Football League. Respect, and Lou Rama and that defense still doing the damn thing, so they're good to go there. Ravens. I know the Ravens are coming in with a lot of hype too, adding OBJ and Zay Flowers and Todd Monken, opening things up on the offense for Lamar Jackson. I think that this is going to be another one of those divisions where it's just sort of a slog. And also, I think the Steelers are greatly improved. I think Kenny Pickett will take a nice little step this year. I think George Pickens is really going to rise up. Deontay Johnson is still that dude. So I think that the Steelers could be in that mix as well. Browns, I don't know, man. I want my boy Kevin Stefanski to succeed, except I think he's been dealt a bad hand with the Browns. The Browns have terrible ownership. I think that what do we do? The notion of trading for Deshaun and guaranteeing that contract and giving up those picks, I think that was a mistake. But yeah, Browns round out the division at 7-10. AFC South. I think the Jaguars run away with this one pretty quickly. I think Trevor Lawrence makes a massive leap. I think that by the end of the season, you're going to be talking about Trevor Lawrence in the same conversation as you do, with Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and maybe even Joe Burrow to a degree. I think that he makes that leap. I think him and Doug are good to go. I think Calvin Ridley is going to have a career year as well. Colts. I really like Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson. I think that they're going to be very simpatico. Steichen did great things with Jalen Hurts last year in Philly, and I think that the Colts are going to be sneaky good, where I think they're a very poorly run organization, but they do have talent. I love me some Pittman, Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, if he actually gets his ass on the field, sure. Defensively, they do have some nice pieces as well, and Anthony Richardson's going to be box office, man. Now, I could see the Colts starting off like 4-7 and then going on a run towards the end of the year. Probably not making a playoff push, but certainly something that you can build on for the future around Richardson. And then rounding out the AFC, Chiefs are still the cream. I think Justin Herbert is going to raise the Chargers up another level. Now, I understand same old sorry-ass Chargers, but I think Quentin Johnson is tailor-made for what Justin Herbert wants to do. I think their defense is very underrated. Now, I don't believe in Brandon Staley. I just don't. But I think the Chargers overall have too much talent not to be in that mix. I think they do go toe-to-toe with Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think the Raiders clock in at 9-8. They'll be flirting with the playoff places. I think that Jimmy G will be fine. I think Devonta Adams will be fine. I think they eventually make up with Josh Jacobs and go from there. But I don't think that Josh McDaniels is that guy long term. And then the Broncos. Russ is not getting back up off the mat, and Sean Payton is not that genius that everyone says that he is. All right, so it's going to be a tough couple of years there in Denver. Over to the NFC East, which has turned into the NFC Beast as of late. So you got the Eagles checking in at 12-5. They're still the reigning defending NFC champions. Respect. Cowboys at 11-6. If they could just get out of the way of Dak, or Dak could get out of the way of this team. I mean, they got talent at every single level of this team, both offense and defense. And I actually think that Mike McCarthy, as much as it pains me to say, has done a pretty damn good job in Dallas. That makes me itchy to say. Commies have one of the best defensive lines in football. I think that their defense still helps carry the day. But, I mean, offensively, how can they be bad? I mean, they have Scary Terry McLaurin. They got Jan Dotson. They got Curtis Samuel. Slinging Sam Howell in year 2. Can he step up and be the guy? I think that Bieniemy shows off his stuff. But, it's sort of a step in the right direction, trying to get out of the shadow of the Daniel Snyder era, but not enough to make the playoffs. Giants. I think that there's a lot of tension in the Giants locker room. I do. The whole Saquon not getting paid, as well as Daniel Jones getting $40 million per year, that just doesn't sit right, especially with a guy who's as popular and a team leader on that squad as Saquon. I mean, the defense is going to be legit as always, but I understand all the Darren Waller hype. I don't think it translates to the regular season. I think the Giants take a step back next year or this year, whatever year we're in. NFC North. Yeesh. Your Minnesota Vikings win the division at 12-5. Lions are still in the playoff places at 10-7. Respect. I do think that the Vikings, show me a spot where the Vikings got worse from last year. The team that went 13-4, the team that had 8 fourth quarter come from behind victories. The offense got better. The defense got younger, faster, sleeker. Brian Flores is all up in there, and special teams is going to be what they be. So I don't understand it. And the schedule does break the Vikings' way, especially towards the end of the season. So I think that the Vikings will continue to control things. I think Kevin O'Connell will be in the Coach of the Year mix. I think Brian Flores will coach his way into a new head coaching job next offseason. And the Lions, I think the Lions will be tough, as always. They're ready to run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell. I think Ben Johnson is a head coach in waiting as well. Monter St. Brown, in my mind, is one of the most underrated receivers in the game. And the Lions are built in the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think the defense will get their ish together. I love me some Brian Branch. I love me some James Campbell. So, yeah, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough, man. Packers at 6-11. This may be a rosy outlook for them, because I think Jordan Love will operate the offense for Matt LaFleur, the 12-year-old boy. The defense will obviously be good. I just don't know if... I mean, their offensive line is flux. Is Bakhtiari actually going to be healthy? Is Jenkins going to be healthy? Zach Tom, the pride of Wake Forest, I think is underrated. They're going to try and run the ball. Can Watson and Dubs and Jaden Reed step up? I don't know. And the Bears at 5-12. I'm not buying the hype. I think Justin Fields will run for 1,000 yards. I think DJ Moore will have some plays, but I don't know. Defensively, they're not there, and offensively, I mean, they're getting pieces together. They're heading in the right direction, but will it be enough? I don't know. But Vikings win that division running away. NFC South. So this one is going to be a who sucks the least sort of situation. I think the Falcons. I think despite Desmond Ridder. And I think if Ridder is just average and just distributes the football to Bijan and Cordero and Pitts and London, I think that the Falcons have a very interesting offense. I like their offensive line. Defensively, they'll be aggressive and get after it. So, yeah, I think the Falcons, at the end of the day, will be left standing. The Saints will be interesting. Saints are solid up front. Derek Carr, if he stops being Derek Carr, maybe they can get something done. They're going to miss Kamara for a handful of games. Defensively, they're solid under Dennis Allen, but I don't know if it'll be enough to just top Hotlanta right now. Panthers, it's going to be rough for the Panthers. Bryce Young probably has never had this poor of an offensive line, even though there's a number of high draft picks in there. Taylor Moton, Sticky Ike Ikwanu, etc. But yeah, I mean, the Panthers, they have some great pieces on defense as well with Chin and Burns and Brown, but I just don't see it. And the Bucs are going to be a walking disaster. The defense will be fine under Bowles, but offensively with Baker, even with Evans, even with Godwin, I just don't see it. I just really don't. I think that they're clearly going to be number 2 on the clock, because on the clock will be the Arizona Cardinals. I'm calling right now. I don't think the Cardinals will win a game this year. And I think that's by design. I think Monty Ossenfort, the pride of University of Minnesota Morris, went in there and was like, hey, we need to just lay waste and just lay down the season. Kyler's not going to be back. I mean, they're probably going to start Clayton Tune week 1. And I don't know. Have you seen the front 7? It seems like every other year they spend a first-round pick on a linebacker, and it just has not worked out. They can't generate consistent pass rush. Their secondary got worse, and I think this is a hard reset, full-on hard reset. They're on the clock for Caleb Williams, and I think that they want to be. Niners run away with his division 13-4. Seattle hangs tough. Geno, year 2. I do think that at the end of the season, it's DK and JSN as your 1-2. I think Lockett sort of gets phased out. They want to run the ball with Walker and Charbonnet. And I just don't see it with the Rams either. I know the Cooper Kupp was hurt last year. Same thing with Stafford. Aaron Donald is another year older. They got rid of Ramsey. There's not really much to write home about in the secondary. They're weak in the trenches. But I don't know. I feel like Sean McVay just pulls a rabbit out of his hat and somehow they get to 8 wins. So recapping, we got the 1 seed in the AFC would be the Chiefs. Chargers in there. 2 seed would be either Jaguars or the Bills. 3 wildcard teams would be the Chargers, the Dolphins, and I don't know. I guess it'd be a tiebreaker between the Ravens, the Colts, and the Raiders. We'll just say the Ravens. 1 seed in the NFC would be the Niners, Vikings, the 2 seed. Well, potentially with the Eagles, we'll see. Falcons as the 4, and then the 3 playoff teams would be the Cowboys as the 5, the Lions and the Seahawks as the 6 and 7, respectively. So there you go. That's it. That is it. That's the most accurate NFL record predictions in the known universe. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts. Where are we right? And where are we right? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.